Well, hello again. Guess I will minimize that so I'm not looking at my face again, and hopefully we're doing a little bit better here today. Not stuck in a 4:3 aspect ratio for today. Realized I was a bit stuck there. Got some things updated and refound my video capture device. My webcam is doing okay now. Maybe a little bit better for audio quality too. I guess the last one was a little quiet, so now the mic's picking up a little bit more sound. So sorry if that's kind of loud too. A little bit of that kind of adjusting. While this stuff isn't exactly high quality, it's good to have it be at least decent. So what to kind of talk about today? Just kind of chatting. Yeah. Things going on today. I ended up watching an old kind of Boss Keys from Game Maker's Toolkit. That was kind of interesting. Just going over Metroid Prime 3 and kind of seeing why it's kind of a Metroid game and kind of not a Metroid game. Kind of exploring a bit of how it opens up, and it's kind of like, hey, we're gonna basically be Halo now, and that was kind of a neat take. And it's sort of like, hey, yeah, it starts off like this, but then it kind of goes back into that Metroid kind of feel. You're doing more exploration, though it kind of isn't sure whether or not it wants to go back into that vanilla sci-fi shooter kind of paradigm. And it's like, I don't know, should we kind of hold the player's hand a little bit and like you say, tell them where to go next, or let them kind of figure it out? It was an interesting take. A bit of an older video. I was looking for kind of something to do while having breakfast. So that was kind of a nice little thing. Other than that, just listening to a lot of bass covers. So I play a little bit of bass, not a lot. I've been working on it for a couple of years. I'm a percussionist by trade, I suppose. And it'd just be really cool. Like, I kind of get what it feels like to kind of know an instrument. Like, you get to a point where you're just kind of like, I want to pick this up and I'm just sort of learning songs. I want to do something. I have a purpose, or something I want to do with this skill. And at some point you realize you're just sort of learning songs or learning notes, and you're not necessarily learning like the instrument. And I feel like I've gotten there with instruments like marimba and vibraphone, which are really, really cool instruments, but a bit beside the point. Those ones I can walk up to and kind of just start playing, and it sounds cohesive and understood, and I can convey an idea by walking up to that. Kind of do it with piano too, not as well as on other like keyboard percussion instruments. And like seeing people play bass to that degree, I'm just like, oh my goodness, like I feel like I'm a baby playing bass. Like, I'm just like, okay, I got to keep looking, and I hope I'm where I'm supposed to be, and things like that. And there's a lot of room to grow, but sort of seeing how other people can kind of just sort of get it is kind of neat. It gives me a little bit of something to kind of work toward. In the meantime, I guess I'm gonna have to just deal with kind of learning songs as they happen. I feel like putting myself into the fire there is probably the best way for me to learn kind of how to play an instrument. You don't quite know what you're getting yourself into until you try. Kind of with this, you just start making videos until you kind of get what it takes to do that. I mean, this is kind of just how to talk and look at a camera and how to make sure like levels are good and things like that. I guess it's all just kind of practice. And at some point, you're not just making videos or trying to appease something, but you get the instrument in a way. You get what you're working with. You're not just making a video or putting together audio. You're making something. You're telling a story, and you get all the tools that you would do to tell it over a digital medium. So I guess you can kind of say that it's all like practicing to that same kind of ultimate goal. Understanding your tools, not necessarily worried too much about it being the best. I mean, I get marimba and I can make the ones that I sound like, or the ones that I have sound decent, or the one that I have sound decent. It's not an amazing instrument, but it's decent. I can still make it sound okay because I get the instrument. My bass isn't very good at all. I consider it like a practice bass, just I didn't want to spend too much money on something that I wasn't sure I'd stick to. So, and now it's kind of like working with a webcam, fairly decent. Microphone's okay because of live streaming, but not worried too much about the tools, but learning them, getting how you would use them to do the thing that you're ultimately wanting to do. Whether that's just, I am just making videos for making videos, or I want to tell stories and do something. How do I use these instruments to kind of feel like that's what I get? Like you could say, tell a story with a digital medium or in a digital medium and be able to do it just fine. So I guess that's kind of all that's really been going on today. Got to go do a little bit of exercise. Kind of got dark outside, so probably not going to go for a run out there, but maybe do a little Ring Fit adventure. Get beat up by a video game. That sounds like a decent way to end the day. So we'll go ahead and do that. So thanks for tuning in if you're around, and yeah, see ya.